Peace, family. This is your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard, and I'm so pleased to be with you here on my own channel at VickiDillard.tv. Family, I'm doing a very brief broadcast at the time that you're watching this. I want to go ahead and say off the top of today's broadcast, get your seat today. Hurry, seats are filling up. All my webinars get a whole lot of good responses. I have a lot of paid webinars, but I have some that I do as free offerings, like I'm doing this Sunday, December 22nd. At the time that you're watching this, you have the opportunity to attend a live, free, offline webinar where I'm going to break down. How many of you have been hearing about the war that's going on in the Middle East, but particularly the one recently where Assad of Syria, his regime fell and he fled to Russia. Now, some of you all may say, well, Vicki, what does that have to do with me? Well, I'm going to break that down exactly this Sunday. I'm going to talk briefly about something I've been talking about for the past year now. Yes, your sister with the curly braids, this girl from Mississippi that now lives in the Wild Wild West. I have been sounding the alarm, both geopolitically, meaning internationally, as well as metaphysically or spiritually, about the goings on of the powers that shouldn't be. Now, this Sunday, I'm talking about Syria, the fall of Syria, and I'm certainly talking about those Zionists connected to Benjamin Netanyahu and the undue influence and its connection with their groups and organizations and foreign agents in the United States that has the consensus of both the Republican and Democrat and independents, including the Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie Sanders called himself trying to back up a little bit to say no more money to Israel, but he was all pro that in the beginning until we had to keep putting our foot on his funny looking neck. Click the link below in the comment section so that you can get your seat today because they fill up fast. I break down things in a way that nobody else does. And the reason why I can say that with such confidence is because I'm connected to a spiritual council. Now, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If the signs and wonders follow, all the chit chat that people talk, the woo-woo stuff or the logical stuff or the metaphysical stuff, at the end of the day, it's about whether or not signs and wonders follow. And they do with me because I was born for this. If you had any sense and want to know how this connects to you and your destiny and the destiny of this country, and quite frankly, I will say it, the world, put a globe in the chat. See if I be who I say I am. You click that link before. I'm doing this as a gift to you, and it's free with no obligation. It's this Sunday, or go to my website at VickiPlanet.com. Check below. Listen. Now, you all know, as I have mentioned before, that I have been discussing this matter here. Y'all know I'm going to just give you the receipts. Look at this headline, and I want you to be reminded of what I'm talking about here, and I'm going to give you an update on what I've been saying for a long time. Y'all see this headline? Y'all know I'm going to give you the receipts. Netanyahu welcomes Black Democratic Congress members. Why? He angles for White House visit. Now, the reason I keep bringing this up is because both the Republicans and Democrats will tell you that if you don't go in lockstep with who they call their strongest ally and who they claim is the only democracy in the Middle East, even though Israel doesn't have a constitution, it's one of only a handful of recognized countries that don't have a constitution. That's another subject. But ain't nobody talking about it like Vicki Dillard is. Before October 7th, the brouhaha with October 7th, when they said that Hamas attacked Israel. That was October, yes? The date of this article that you just saw is from, number one, the Jewish Post in Israel, right? This is from September. So approximately that time frame is when the Congressional BIack Caucus took their funny looking self over to Israel. Why is that suspicious? I've been breaking that down. Look at my previous lives here. Look at my previous live replays here. And of course, I'm going live now on another major platform, African Diaspora News Channel. So I'm going to make sure not to abandon my platform here either, like I did years ago when I put other major platforms in front of my own and I helped to build and bring profit to others. So I'm not going to give up on mine here. But I want to tell you the update that I want to add to what I said before. Go look at that because I break it down why. What's what? How is it that just literally weeks before the October 7th situation where Hamas attacked Israel, even though Israel are the occupiers in the eyes of the UN, which means that they're not supposed to be over there. Even though international court says some of the legal experts in the ICC, and frankly, by extension, the ICJ have argued that when you're the occupier, which means you're illegally occupying a particular nation's or person's or group's land, you don't get to turn around and talk about, I have the right to defend myself. Even with that legally, the Palestinian people, the folks of Gaza, West Bank, that whole region, those terms that you hear that get balled up into one, they're still trying to negotiate with them so that they can maintain the rights to defend themselves. But I want you to keep in mind that you're the one that broke in their house. Can you imagine if somebody broke into your house, family, and they want to sit here and negotiate how you respond? I digress. I showed you the article, and I'm going to keep bringing you the article, and here's my update. Netanyahu, it says what? Because I have to remind you of this article from a year ago. He was what? Angling for a White House visit. You got to ask yourself, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that just days before, weeks before, October 7th, the month before, you brought in the Congressional BIack Caucus because no Republican, no Democrat, no white Republican and white Democrats wouldn't fool with you? The President of the United States, Joe Biden, just days before October 7th, wasn't even willing to meet with Netanyahu. Some folks don't know that Netanyahu is considered, he's under #1 criminal trial. Right now, he's in court. His 3 different cases he got opened against him. And for years, his own people were protesting against him. No exaggeration. Hundreds of thousands of people were regularly protesting against him in the streets. Israel is only a nation of a few million. So that's a large number of the population that was regularly protesting against him about a year before. And no mainstream Western media told you that, because we want you to believe that they some righteous ally that don't have any problems. They didn't want you to know that so much of their population was protesting against him. Not only because of his criminal cases, where they say he was trying to stay in power and prolong the wars on purpose, but he was trying to obstruct the judiciary. So Joe Biden and them needs Israel to commit crimes around the world on their behalf. So to keep that little entity intact, they told Netanyahu in so many words, you need to just step down and go sit down somewhere and let somebody else take over so that we don't put the whole operation in jeopardy. Netanyahu wasn't going to go down like that. So the White House was pressuring him by ignoring him, by refusing to see him. Keep that in mind when they tell you that if you don't believe in dealing with Israel, that you anti-Semitic, but your own government, Republicans quietly, Democrats more boldly, were intentionally keeping a distance from him, and he couldn't even meet with Joe Biden. The update is, the question is, because he couldn't get nobody to meet with him except your coons, only the black coons that came to save the doggone day were willing to meet with him. Even when Joe Biden wouldn't, Democrats wouldn't, and the Republicans quietly were distancing themselves from him to pressure him to step down so that they could keep their little Israeli buddies intact. The question is, should we blame the Congressional BIack Caucus for causing the genocide that's going on over there, and also the invasion of Lebanon and the attacks that they're doing against Yemen now and other players in the region? Do you have your black coons, your black raccoons to blame for its escalation because nobody else was willing to meet them? And I have asked this question before, and I'm asking it now. Did the Congressional BIack Caucus physically appear there so that they could receive sensitive information from Netanyahu to directly take to Joe Biden and the Democrats and anybody else? How many of y'all know that one of the reasons why folks meet face to face is because there's a lot of sophisticated technologies that could probably pick up sensitive information that they didn't want compromised? I'm asking you this. I think I have some answers for you this Sunday, December 22nd. My year-end gift to you and my New Year's gift to you, an absolutely free offering. You don't want to miss this. It's censored, true forbidden knowledge that comes out of my mouth because it's being channeled from a higher dimension. And people that have attended and know, Vicki don't miss because my spiritual team don't miss. I was born for this moment. But this information must be discussed offline. Don't miss your free gift. When I give you these offerings, you should take it as the highest privilege. The highest privilege. Because it's the highest, most supreme form of knowledge. Click the link below or go to VickiPlanet.com. I don't have to do this. I can do something else. And I can do other types of offerings that are paid. And I can do other kind of things, beloved, that can bring me way more resources than this. I'm insisting on this because my spirits are insisting that you get this information. Click it offline so that we don't have the interruptions that some of the platforms gives us. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share the broadcast. Check in with me regularly here at VickiDillard.tv, my own platform. Of course, check me out on other platforms as well. I got a whole lot of other yummy information where we're expanding our empire offline in other ways. You don't want to miss it. I can't wait to see you again.